Good morning from the beautiful nature trail. How are you doing today? Let me ask you a question. Are you really truly happy? Are you enjoying life? Or do you wish things would change in your life and things could be better? Would you like to go from a just surviving mode to a thriving mode today? Well, let's talk about that for a minute. And I'm going to tell you that if you want to change your life, you want to change anything in your life, you can. Anybody can change anything in their life that they want to. If you're not happy with your life, you got to start with you. You can't change the outward circumstances and situations. You certainly can't change other people. But who you can change is yourself. And that's where it has to begin. You've heard the old cliche, if you want things to change, you must start with yourself. Well, that's not a cliche, that's a truth. And you ask, oh, how can you say that? I say that because I'm speaking by experience, because I know, because I've experienced it. That was most of my life I lived in survival mode. I didn't like me. I didn't like my life. I didn't like the way things was going in my life. I wasn't enjoying life. But one day I decided enough was enough, and that I was going to make a change in my life, and the only way I could do that was to start with me. And what should I do was my question to change my life. Well, let me tell you, it's like you have to rewire your brain. And you can rewire your brain. The reason you're living the way you're living is because of the wiring of your brain. You've been programmed from the time you were born how to think, how to live, how to perceive things, how to look at things. And that programming comes from your parents and your grandparents and everything around you that programmed you to think in a certain way. And if your parents told you, for example, you'll never amount to anything, or they could ask you a question, why are you so stupid? And all of these things, that was wiring your brain to think in a certain way, to perceive your own life in a certain way. So you were programmed how to think, and that programming wired your brain from the time you were a baby of how to think of things, and not just what your parents told you, but what others have said to you, and also your life experiences wired your brain to believe a certain thing, to believe certain ways, to think certain ways, to have certain limiting beliefs. For example, when you were a baby, perhaps you laid there and you cried, and needing someone to pick you up, and no one came and no one picked you up. So it made you feel like you were neglected and abandoned, and feeling neglected and abandoned also made you feel like you were unworthy. So that began that feeling, that wiring your brain when you were a tiny baby. And then later on, maybe when you was in grade school and you were somewhere and your parents or someone was supposed to come pick you up and they didn't pick you up. Maybe they forgot you, or maybe they're just running late and they're not there when you think they should be there. And it gives you a feeling of that same, it re-triggers those feelings that you had from that tiny baby laying in that cradle, to those feelings of neglect, abandonment, and making you feel unworthy. So it just compounded those feelings. And then you go on in life. Maybe you get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and they finally break up with you. It rekindles those feelings. It makes them stronger. It rewires that thinking in your brain to think that you are neglected, abandoned, and unworthy. But the way you can change that is to rewiring your brain. You can rewire your brain. You have all those circuits going on in your brain, and they're making you think certain ways and feel certain ways, but you can actually rewire your brain. It's called neuroplasticity. You can change your whole brain. You can rewire your whole brain. And the way you start doing that, if you really want to change your life, you rewire your brain. And here's how you do it. You start out, the first thing you do is you be mindful of your thoughts. And how to be mindful of your thoughts is to be mindful of your feelings. How are you feeling in the moment? Are you feeling distressed? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling bad? Are you feeling any kind of negative emotion at the time? Think back to your thoughts. Trace your thoughts back. What were you thinking that made you feel this way? And be more mindful of your thoughts by being more mindful of your feelings. Be mindful of what you're feeling, because what you're feeling, you can trace that feeling back to a thought. A thought produced that feeling. Was it productive for you? Did it help you? Did it make you feel better? Did it make you feel happier? So the first thing to do is be mindful of your feelings so that you can trace your thoughts, and be mindful of your thoughts, and you begin to rechange, rewire, rethink your thoughts. That begins the rewiring process in your brain. Now, I'm not telling you this is going to be easy, because it isn't, but it's going to take effort. And it's going to take what I call persistent consistency. You got to be persistent, and you got to be consistent in changing yourself, rewiring your brain, doing what if it's according to how bad you want it. There's no magic pill, or there's no magic wand. It takes effort. It takes persistent consistency to change, and that's where you start with. Another thing is to be mindful of everything that goes in to this brain, everything that goes into your mind, everything that you listen to, everything you read, the people you're around, the people you talk to, everything. Be mindful. Is it negative or is it positive? Is it helpful or is it making you feel worse? Be mindful of it, and just soak your brain with good, positive things. That's how I changed, because there was a time in my life when I did not like the way I lived. I was so high-strung. I was frustrated all the time. I'd fly off the handle. It was like there was a motor inside me that was running on high all the time, that I couldn't slow down, and I finally got that under control. And when I did, my whole life changed. But it didn't happen overnight. I did it by putting good, wonderful things in my brain, reading good, positive quotes, reading good, positive, inspirational books, listening to good inspirational videos on YouTube or wherever you can find them, just soaking your brain with good, positive, inspirational, encouraging things. It will change your brain. It doesn't happen overnight. I even went to bed at night with my headphones on, listening to, going to sleep, listening to good inspirational videos, high vibe videos, and it began to rewire my brain. It took a little while to do it, but it happened. And then another thing you can do is meditation. Meditation changed my life, because it calmed that motor down within me. And it takes a while sometimes for meditation to really begin to affect it. And I had a profound experience the very first time that I meditated. And you may too. But if not, that's okay. Don't give up. Keep meditating. Keep rewiring that brain. You can change your whole life. You can't change others, but there's one thing you can change. It's yourself. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's what Wayne Dyer used to say. Bless you. Have a great day.